Hello and welcome to another Monday night's action courtesy of Sim Racing World. Once again, we're returning with the NASCAR Truck Series, one of the fastest combinations that Sim Racing World has to offer, and tonight going to another wide open mile-and-a-half speedway. You last week may remember all the biff, buff, and all the rest of it that went on from Darlington. This week it's going to be pack racing. It's going to be tight battles from point A to point B and all sections in between. My name is Scott Rattlegun Rankin. Alongside of me is the Shib Man. Shib, I ship it. It's a great combination, this one on Monday nights.
Mate, who could disagree? Seriously, that's all I've got to say. I was also thinking I should change my name to Nathan Shibby, just here for the ride, Howard. What do you reckon about that
one? The only time you're just here for the ride is when it involves multiple flipping NASCARs, end over end over end. Tonight, somebody's going to try and kick a field goal to make Shibby happy, and the only other way he can enjoy it a little bit more than that is if we go to his favorite concept in racing, NASCAR Overtime. This is the NAS Truck Series, brought to you proudly by the DSL Welding Services. Big shout out to all of our sponsors that make it possible here for Sim Racing World. We've got Pagnian Imports Simulations, DSL Welding Services, Dragon RC, and don't forget Melville Equipment Corporation. Qualifying now is the target for these drivers. Where will they qualify up and down the field? And there is one post-race penalty hanging over from last week. Blake Delaney in the 08 truck will be starting from the rear of the field here tonight after an incident was protested post-race. He will start from the back. He's put some strong finishes together here, Nathan. Pack racing, how much do you know about Chicago?
Well, I did Google something, and it's a 1.5 mile tri-oval speedway. Does that mean there's 6 corners?
No. Okay. We've had this out a few times now, just a few times, but it's okay. I'll give you permission. You don't race these things all that often. We've got to get you out of rookie class eventually. Right, so a tri-oval. What does that mean? There's turn 1, there's turn 1 and turn 2. There's turn 3 and turn 4 right together. And then in between turn 4 and turn 1, there's a little kink on the front stretch. That is a tri-oval. Looks kind of like a triangle.
Right, well that does make sense. I can't disagree again. You're just full of knowledge.
Fun fact here tonight, one of the only tracks within the NASCAR circuit that does not have a single piece of straight track. That apron down there tonight, in use for qualifying. It will be out of bounds once the green flag flies, but drivers have all the opportunity to try and make the best of it. This is this is Chicagoland. I was trying to say Charlington. What are we? Darlington crossed with Chicagoland. This is the Windy City. Yeah, NASCAR returning here next year from the streets. It has now been announced that in 2023, NASCARs will be taking to the streets of Chicago, which is a fantasy track that was originally put on the iRacing platform, did not exist, and they said, you know what, we're thinking about this. What can iRacing do? They scouted it out. They went and did some scans of the streets in and around Chicago. Will now become an official track as of next year. I hope for everyone's safety and sanity, we don't do the same with iRacing Super Speedway. Have you seen the banking at iRacing Super Speedway?
No, I'm gonna have to though, clearly.
I might have to add it to the schedule for next season. We're gonna have to get the Shib Man on that one. Right, qualifying most of the way through. Who's jumping out at the front? And an apology to all the drivers from last week as well. I unfortunately forgot to turn off open qualifying, so they ran all out there at once. This week we managed to fix that. We shot the admin that was in charge of that and replaced him.
Wait, you're still here though?
Yes.
Reincarnation.
You see, a little while ago somebody cloned me, and it's, you know, we shot the one that failed to set up the server properly. We brought in the new one. We have backups.
That's good. Good. We do need backup.
Well, you might want to reach out to the Sinkovich brothers, Nate. They might want to clone you if you're not careful.
Oh, God, please don't. I can't deal with myself enough having 2 of me.
Well, then we get one of you that does all the regular work and one of you that does the SRW work.
Actually, that doesn't sound like a bad idea.
None of you still get enough time to be able to race around in the sim.
Yeah, that's not even funny. It's so truthful, it hurts.
Righto, we are just about set. Most of the grid has now set itself, and qualifying looks to be running done. The 27th driver of Jai Schultz has jumped out to the 4. He is set on 31.167. This is Chicagoland. This is probably one of the most fun tracks on iRacing 2. Pack racing, but it is about tire saving. You remember what happened at Kansas?
Ah. Please refresh my memory.
Pack racing, overtaking, guys sticking to each other. It was all about who could get the best push. It's tonight. It's going to be about tyre conservation. 83 laps the journey. Drivers will have 2 spare sets of tyres. And all this time I've been trying to buy time for myself to go to the championship standings. You know what? Haven't done that. Absolute champion I am over here.
A champion of champions, we would say.
Please no. Fun fact, I actually am still a champion, and will be for the rest of my life, actually.
Well, yeah, look, if you think that positive about how your life is going, then you can be a champion for as long as you want.
No, I mean on a technicality, I will always be a forever champion. No, I actually mean that. So, when I was 9 years old, I won an Australian title in motocross. Well, not motocross, they call it long track, or oval racing, actually. Funny that now I'm the encyclopedia of everything oval. I think they're longer than 800 meters and less than 1,200 meters oval tracks is the specification for motorcycles. Dirt bikes, of course. I won it in the year 2000. The year 2001, that class became non-competitive and will never become competitive again due to increasing insurance and registrations because it was for young kids. It is now being made a demonstration class. So for the rest of my days, no one can take that title off of me.
Ooh, because no one's ever going to be able to race it again.
Race for the title. Yes, It's non-competitive. Everyone that shows up for that class now just gets handed an award.
It's just a here, you turned up, congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. They don't track points. They don't track points for it. Yeah. So how's that?
Well, good on you. You'll be a forever champion. I feel a little bit less about my own life.
Well, it's technicalities. It's technicalities. You see, you've got to make fun of the technicalities. Matty Skulls is on the leaderboard there. I actually went and had a chat to the boys from Riot Sim Racing prior to the broadcast, Nathan. And this is a little gem. I literally said to them, have you got an embarrassing fact about these guys? Because we've had the facts about their teammate. I believe it was Jacob Hughes. We heard all about the boat ramp from season number 1. Well, here was the voice from Riot Sim Racing's opportunity to bag out on each other, potentially throw some more facts out about their team. They had none. I asked Alan Dawson and Scalzi, Matty Scalzi, if they had one about each other. Dawson's brand new to the team. He hasn't been around Scalzi long enough yet to find out embarrassing things. Now, I said, Scalzi, he's just an embarrassment sitting there. He's just an absolute character. Surely you've got something. He said, no, I don't actually have anything. Make something up, mate. Couldn't make something up on the fly. So,
oh, come on. It's easy to bloody spin a load of what you would call proverbial BS and then make people believe it. Especially when you have a full internet show to do it on.
Well, Hayden Norris, I believe, is another one of the Riot Sim Racing drivers. He's going to get out there and have a crack at qualifying. There he is.
For people to get back on the track. There's no one out there. They seem to go out, smash out two quick laps, and it's game over. And it's still saying Matthew goals. Don't know why that is. Oh, I do know why it is. Closed qualifying seems to have a few little issues still. I am working on these in the background. I don't know if people realise, but I have changed the NASCAR overlay a little bit, made it a little bit more, I was going to say symmetrical, but it all looks similar now, and some of the issues are sorted. So I hope you enjoy, because I had fun trying to fix it all.
Another driver who's actually out there doing qualifying at the moment, and I believe you just flicked to, is actually Grant Matterford, who returns to the series. Grant said he was away for a couple of weeks here at the start of the season. He had so much fun, took out one of the late races within the series after nearly winning one, after doing one less stop than everyone else. So he's returned to the series, and I'm expecting big things from a driver that was slowly coming to terms, and as the season progressed, was starting to put a real marker down for potential from Grant Manafort. He'll have 1 minute and 20 seconds here left to throw down another lap. We'll see if he can improve from his first lap, which has him P23. Hayden Norris has just gone to P number 17, and he is about 3/4 of the way around the track, so he will complete his second lap in a moment, and we'll get that one up on the board. That is about it. Everyone else has set their laps. Run and done. Norris, I believe, did improve. No, didn't improve. Stays P17. Grant Manafort will just cross the line now. Goes to P14. So he will improve 9 spots. And he will shuffle a whole bunch of drivers down. And critically, I've now had an opportunity to have a look at points. Our points leader here tonight is Blake Delaney. Prior to there being drop rounds calculated, Blake finished P2 in the opening round at Kansas. P1 won the race at Don't Turn a Road Course. And then P11 last week from Darlington. He will start from the rear of the field after accruing a post-race penalty for contact last week that was not caught by the stewards. So that one has gone to this week, and he will start from the rear of the field. So he will have 83 laps to shuffle himself through. It'll be 125 miles of Chicagoland, a fast-flowing racetrack. Tyre conservation is going to be the key. Slowing the car down, getting it to pit road is going to be the key. That track is going to continue to rubber in. The lines will change, and qualifying has been run and done. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go racing NASCAR style. I haven't let you do one of these so far, Shibby. Do you want to do the starting grid? This will be a first for you.
Sure. I don't mind.
Have a crack, mate. Have a crack.
I'm chill.
Can you do a bit of pizzazz? Have you got pizzazz there?
I got a bit of pizzazz. I just gotta pull it out of my back pocket and find where to put it. Just waiting for the grid. Yeah, sure. When it finally realized it wants to, no.
See, we're out here on the tools. The drivers are out here on the tools, and they pick up the steering wheel and they wheel the thing around. The drivers out there on track, they are pushing as hard as they possibly can, and Shibby is pushing as hard as he possibly can behind the scenes, trying to give you guys the best stream possible.
I don't know what it is. Something about close qualifying in SDK just doesn't like it. I am doing my best to get it back up.
You know what's good to see? Logan Barnett up towards the front end of town once again in that number 11 Tinder car.
Those Tinder cars, guys need to sort out a little bit of color differentiation so we can actually tell who's who.
The difference is the face on the bonnet of the cars. We talked about that last week.
One car has a different bonnet, yeah.
Shh, they all have different ones.
They all have different faces. That we can be sure of.
Well, let's talk through our points whilst we're sitting here on the starting grid and everything's starting to come through. In the lead of the points with 132 points is the 08 car of Blake Delaney, and P2 is his teammate from Fishy Motorsports, Jamie Dyke. He'll be 13 points further adrift. Christopher Tomlin, after a consistent run of finishes, has managed to wiggle his way up into the top 3, only 3 points back off of Jamie Dyke. Then we throw back to Jared Steen, who, remember, had that phenomenal podium, finishing 3rd in the opening race of the season. He's 106, only 1 point behind him. Paul Bryan, returning champion. We'll see if he can continue his surge of form. Kobe Jordan was chatting. They've just done a new deal for their teams, and he will be running a new livery here tonight. He sits in P6 on 98 points. 91 points is Jai Schultz of Southern Stars Motorsports. Aiden Schultz, the better of the Schultz so far being Jai, is 2 points behind, but Aiden has 1 round not completed so far. Peter Morris sitting in P10, only 1 point further adrift. It gets real tight here. Another 1 point back. Bradley Oldfield is on top of the world after a P2 finish last week. Harry Stewart was your winner from last week's race. He sits down in P19 on 72 points. The gaps are absolutely nothing. So points at this point in time are going to be huge. And there was one driver that I was talking to prior to this race. That was George Minus. And I said to Greg, you know, you don't spell George G-R-E-G. He's not part of Team Greg. Well, he said, yeah, no, you actually do, in Greek.
Oh, that's an interesting fact.
I don't think that's a fact. I think they're pulling the wool over our eyes. But I'm willing to believe it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Off-road racing.
pace cars come off turn 4. We are going to go NASCAR racing once again. The drivers will try and set themselves in, look after a set of tyres, and Jared Steen is going to be trying to get the best getaway he possibly can. We'll see how it all goes. Jai Schultz, remember, he is your race leader at this point in time. There's some issues with the timing at this point, so Jai Schultz is actually going to be your race leader. There may be a blink out. He is going to run us away down the back stretch. There's going to be a whole big squabble for P2 on backwards. We'll see who picks up the fight and starts to take it to the 4. Wade She is unfortunately dropped from the server, and Schultz has actually got a huge margin out ahead. There's a huge accident on the front stretch where it's going to be Daniel Weaver down in the grass. He's going to be trying to dodge things down on the bottom of the racetrack as he tries to rejoin. Will do so, but he's more than likely going to lose the draft. That could be critical for his race. He will try and settle back in at the tail end of the pack. A lot to do, and scraps up down markings down the left-hand side of his car, so he will try and settle in and see what he can recover. Jai Schultz starts to get caught back in, and this front pack is going to have to normalise themselves out. Christopher Ireland in hot pursuit. He's got P2 under control, but that group's going to have to normalise. They need to work together here, because if Schultz gets away and breaks this toe, it's over. Early running here, Nate. They've settled in nicely, apart from that first little incident. You're a little bit disappointed. You're always the man in favour of an early caution.
I think I just like seeing trucks go flying through the air, to be honest.
Do you reckon we'll see any field goal attempts from the drivers here tonight?
It'd be great to see. Got to get some of these guys into Arca Break Weekly. Actually, no, these guys are way too high a class for that. They're way too high a class for that. What am I talking about?
Wow. I mean, the track too tough to tame last week. That's the view out the rear bumper of Jai Schultz's 27 truck, and that's the herd of Angry Hornets trying to chase him down. A few drivers starting to take the higher line, keep a little bit of momentum up, look after tyres. Setting a very quick pace early on, and it's green flag racing. There's a little bit of a break up from P8 back to P9. So top pack has got 8 cars in it. Then P9 back to P22, and then there's a little bit more of a break-up, and Weaver's trying to reset himself on. Paul Bryan's starting to make a little bit of a move through the field. That's Evan Horswell you're seeing on screen. Is there a little bit of damage on that truck? Might be. We'll keep an eye on it. Driver, the number 2 teammate, remember, to our defending champion of Paul Bryan from last season. Last season, not last week. You know, it can't be defending. Defending champion of last week is Harry Stewart, I suppose. You're having fun with those overlays. They're really working for you tonight, aren't they, Ships? Oh, that's contact. That's a huge moment from Horswell. He'll collect up Jamie Dyke. Was it Jamie Dyke?
Looked like it, yes.
Yes, it was.
Oh. I mean, I will get this sorted in a minute.
There you go. First caution of the night.
I just use, yep. This will work.
Well, I'll try and settle themselves down. That's the early running broken down. It'll be interesting whether or not Jai Schultz burned off too much of his tyres trying to break that draft, and if Ireland as well did the same thing. We've had 7 laps under green flag racing before we form up under our first caution. 2 sets of tyres tonight. Probably not going to be any takers on those tyres, but there might be a few takers from the tail end of the pack for fuel. Track position will be fairly key tonight. Making up positions late is not going to be an easy thing to do as the tyres tend to wear out here. Very hot road surface as well, 51 degrees Celsius. I'll see if I can get that for you in the American units as they were designed. And the pit lane calls the fakes. A whole bunch of drivers trying to outfox each other. Top 10 have not come to pit lane. That is the first truck. Will drop to pit lane. Shibby, that was amazing camera work. Did you do that?
That was a guess. I just clicked a card, to be honest. I'm still trying to work out why the overlay has decided to just go, nope.
They lined you up and gone, you know what? We don't like Shibby on Monday nights only. Every night of the week, they love it.
I spent time testing and changing things for the stream tonight. Like in the Dallara Dash, like watching them and testing the overlay. So why now? I don't understand. Anyway, I've got a smile on my face. It's NASCAR trucks tonight. We've already had 1 caution. We're on the way to a NASCAR overtime.
Not yet. No, it's too early for that.
I'm just going to have to run with the default setup. No hotkeys for cameras, and remember how to click buttons instead of using hotkeys.
Throw it back 3 weeks ago, and that was your first race winner there on screen on the right-hand side of the screen. Aiden Schultz home in Brisbane in Queensland, originally from. On the first race of the week, it was a barnstorm of a performance from Schultz, led the early goings of the race, and then settled in. Strategy played its way out, shuffled himself back through the field to control it at the line. That's what it was all about. It was a really strong performance from the driver of the 52. Driver of the 27 is the other Schultz in the field. He is currently trying to mirror that performance from Aiden a few weeks ago and continue to extend clean pair of heels. Drop rounds will need to be applied, of course, as of yet. There is one drop round in terms of points. What does that mean for your championship standings? Well, that means their worst round for all of these drivers will be automatically calculated and taken away. So, Aiden Schultz has missed one race, which was last week at Darlington. He will have that wiped off. However, everybody else in the field who was here last week will lose points that they scored last week. So, Jai Schultz will be looking for a strong finish here tonight. Home based in Murchison, Narellan in Sydney for Chris Island. I might pop down there and say hello to him sometime soon. Be nice to do an You know what we should do? We should do SRW meetups. Just sim racing meetups.
Where we all just jump in our sim and then meet up somewhere on a live map.
Yeah.
Like an open world map.
Yeah. That's it. We're gonna meet up in the metaverse.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about, right? I don't like leaving the house.
Hey, I got you talking about football last week, and most people in here are going to be going, football? Oh, that oval-shaped one? No, guys, wrong football. It's the round one he likes.
The one you kick with your feet, you know?
You kick all of them with your feet. You just play with them with the hands a lot first.
Yeah. Which, honestly, hands, balls, not a bad thing. Not going to lie.
Well, field started to form itself up for the restart here. And drivers who have come down pit road and taken a service, let's list them off. Glenn McLeod, Andy Barber, Evan Horsfield, Nathan Allen, Joel Berkeley, who I believe is giving up a fair bit of track position. 159 machine is going to be Nathan Gore, Daniel Weaver, Blake Delaney has come down, George Minus has gone to 2 laps down, so he's had an issue. Jamie Dyke is now at 2 laps down and did tow, although I believe he's circulating yes, he is. He's just rejoined the tail end of the pack. So Delaney is still in it. Troy Mortenson's at 3 laps down. Wade Sheedy has unfortunately had that disconnect. And McAvoy is our race controller here this evening.
I think I worked out. Maybe. Find out.
Ignore that timer on your screen. We'll give you lap counts as they go on. Right, we are coming to the conclusion of lap 7. About to go back to green. Here, safety car will pull off. Field will be back once again in Jai Schultz's hands. And we'll see the getaway that he gets. The launch from the front row of the grid. Island to his outside. Gets a really good launch from Schultz. And we'll see how they make their way down to turn number 1. And immediately the Tinder car says, I want to go forward. Don't box me in. I'm going to the front, baby. And I believe that's Chris Tomlin on the top side that nearly tagged into the wall as well. Schultz won't get away so far this time on the early running. And I can tell you up at the front, Logan Barnett's making moves. Bradley Oldfield's starting to make moves as well. He's looking for another strong finish for himself. The 062 to his outside, I believe, is Stefan Lawrence, and he's running. No, sorry, my apologies. That's Alan Dawson, the new driver to Riot Sim Racing. Kobe Jordan's going to be in behind these guys and fighting quite heavily. And keep your eyes out as well. Is Matty Keane in the field here tonight? I know he has been watching the streams and he's been really interested.
Sure is, mate. There he is.
I've been having a lot of discussions with Matty Keane. He is loving life in terms of sim racing. So.
Well, I'm glad some people out there are getting to do some racing. I'll get round to it eventually, I swear.
Matty Keane went, I know that name from somewhere. Rankin, where do I know you from? Turns out he's actually one of the drivers that watches my IndyCar League and was watching it before I started racing there.
Oh, nice.
So he knows, yeah. Oh, cars, there's chaos! You wanted a field goal? There's a car going to the moon! Who put rockets on the rear end of the... Oh, it's Blake Delaney. Is it? No, that's Delaney on screen right there. It was a fishy car.
Robbie Griffiths. Yes. see how this works. Here we go. Oh, we're
This
on
should be
board with
interesting.
Robbie Griffiths.
Somebody attach the rockets to the rear end of this thing.
Right now we're only in half speeds, and they still look like they're moving so quick. The Tinder car looks a bit...
Oh, he's come up, and the car ahead of him just wasn't ready for it.
He's just... The physics there. I said this the other day too. I saw something like this happen where the car hits the wall and then gets ejected backwards. I was so very confused on the physics.
So what's going on there is that the physics of the game, they're trying to work. They are absolutely trying their hardest. You know what's going on? Front bumper gets locked inside the wall. So what's effectively happened there is the driver that was immediately behind him has gotten a little bit of a run and tried to show the nose to the inside. He's trying to be respectful. The car on the outside doesn't know they're 3 wide. That's what it is. It was Peter Gretton that was involved in that one by the look of that. No, that's a separate incident. That's contact on the rear, the left corner.
Yeah, it just says Peter... Oh, bit of smoke there. We've got to do a bit of magic to go backwards. Actually, no, I think it
was
might
Gretton.
be. Yeah.
It was Gretton. So Gretton's just not aware that the car's coming up, basically, is what's happened. And this is one of the tricky parts about tri-ovals. So the car's coming up. Now the track is turning left that whole time now. So from his perspective, he thinks he's going straight, but he's actually coming down a little bit because it's a little bit hard to reference. So you're looking, what the drivers are looking for. See those 4 lines you see going up the track right now? You've got your white line on your left. You've got each of those seams. Look at those patches. All of these things for NASCAR drivers are reference points. Why are they reference points? They're always, well, not always, but they're quite generally very parallel to that white line at the bottom of the track. It's a reference point. You can use it. You ever talk to a lot of those really, really high-level drivers that have done a lot of laps at specific things, they'll tell you there's a very tiny bump here in turn 1. And you go out and you walk the track and go, there's nothing there. How does this guy know? That's exactly what's going on. They just know all of these specific reference points. NASCAR, there are bumps around the track, and they are very, very important to how these cars handle. They will bottom out, and they're very soft in terms of suspension. If you turn these cars right, you'll actually see all the weight come off the right front corner of the car whenever they're in an oval setup. So they load all the right-hand side tires up really nice and evenly. So any bumps like that really unsettle these cars, and it's important to have every little guideline that you can. At some tracks you would have seen when we went to Kansas a few weeks back, there were little white arrows on the track, and that's just lane markings, and drivers will say, I definitely, as the run progresses, I want to be on the right-hand side of this lane marker on entry. I want to be starting to transition my turn-in point there, or I want to be early on in the run, I want to have that go directly under the center of the line of the car, moving low. If I'm in the high lane, I know that I'm going to be a truck's width above that because I've got to let a truck beneath me. So it's all these little important reference points that are so critical to these drivers. Learn something there, Ships?
No doubt, to be honest.
You're troubleshooting still.
Yeah. Yep. Now we're getting drop frames in the stream, which I'm not happy about. I don't know what's going on, so...
Mate, on Monday nights, when you're trying to sit here and just enjoy everything that's going on, nothing works. But Tuesday nights roll around and you're sitting back and you're trying to have a drive, that's when everything works.
I didn't even get to drive last week.
You didn't?
No, I didn't drive last week.
For those of you who don't know, who are tuning into the sim racing world for the first time, Tuesday nights is Dirt Oval night. That'll be coming to you live from tomorrow night. And in a few weeks' time, we will literally have Dirt Oval Monday night, Dirt Oval Tuesday night. So this week we're at Chicagoland. But next week we'll be at Auto Club. The following week we'll be at Knoxville, which is a Dirt Oval track. So you'll have Dirt Oval action coming to you Monday and Tuesday nights.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how...
I love seeing these trucks on dirt. That was really exciting. Okay, I fixed the problem. Now... drop frame should be back to normal. My Google Drive was deciding to upload all its crud to the cloud. Oh my gosh, man. Look, it just shows that you can prep, test, and be ready, and things still go wrong. And you just sometimes got to sit back, let someone else talk about what's happening while you fix the problem. So,
We've, worked together on so many broadcasts. I just know. I got a cover for you. We look after each other here at SRW.
I told you, it's just Nathan should be here for the ride, Howard. It's just the way it is now. NASCAR and just get carried around in the back or in the passenger seat of the truck while you do all the hard yards.
Speaking of hard yards, about to be some hard yards going through on the track. We are in the middle of turn number 3 and 4. About to go back green. Keep your eyes on that track map on the right-hand side. If you suddenly see a car very slow, that means we've had a caution. Pace car peels off. You can ride on board with the Supermeter. Peter Morris is going to take you through a NASCAR restart. Gets a reasonable getaway. There's Morris on the inside line. He's going to have Aiden Schultz just ahead of him on the outside. I believe he's going to have Darren Palmer directly to his outside. We'll see if he can settle down into turn number 1. He is clear, so he's going to settle back in. We're going to follow things. He's caught down the bottom just a little bit too early. That's Grant Matterford in the Pulse Racing team entry up against the fence there on the outside. Matterford didn't get a great launch down the back stretch. One more time. Paul Bryland making moves up at the front. Takes P2 away from Chris Ireland. And Matterford looks to have burned his tyres off, or maybe he's just caught the wall of fraction. He's starting to slip backwards, and it will be time for the Supermeter to get the skates on.
Oh, it looks like a couple of guys are going to try and take he's really dropping back.
So the critical thing here at Chicagoland is your draft lane on the back stretch is in the outside lane. On the front stretch, it's down the inside. Shortest way around the track when you got to try over like that. You want to come down and kiss the apex like you would in regular road racing. Oh, they 3 wide. They're 4 wide there. And Matterford is just going to try and escape the whole thing. And who's the driver that shoots through there just behind Aiden Schultz now? It's one of the Tinder entry cars. I wonder if that's Bradley Oldfield. I had a feeling it might be. Andy Barber is up ahead of that. And Matterford just find himself in all sorts of strife. Just cannot get himself settled back down. Joel Berkeley it might be, actually. Have we got another issue? We do. We've got another caution now.
Yellow.
And
looks like we've got Mr. Jamie
Greg
Dyke
Leap was involved.
Yeah, off
Oh, no.
Thanks for all the shout-outs in the chat, guys. For some reason, when I was trying to fix the issue with SDK, I closed trading paint. So thanks for letting me know that some of the liveries were wrong. So appreciate that. Let's get that all fixed for you.
Here we go. Okay, so we've finally got a fact about skulls. We gave Dawson the opportunity. His teammate Dave Nash is going to jump in. Fun Monday fact. Mr. Skulls dresses his cats up like the 7 dwarfs.
He's got
what are they?
Wait, he's got 7 cats?
7 cats? My wife wishes she has 7 cats. This is going to tell the story. What's happening here between Lee and Dyke's trying to shoot the gap, and there was no gap to shoot. You can't calm down when there's a car already underneath you. You've got to hold that lane. Which means for Jamie Dyke, he had to check up. There was no opportunity there for himself to clear. But that is one of the learning points of joining into a truck league. Well, it is one of the biggest things that you've got to learn is at some point during this season, more than likely everyone's going to walk away as an at-fault driver in a caution, right? Now you're gonna, or they lose strategy ticket and they're shuffled to the back on fresh tires late. You've got to learn how to overtake drivers who are running different sets of tires, different pace, and you've got to try and shuffle yourself to the front. And it is a very, very unique skill. You've got to get your skates on, you've got to get aggressive, but you've also got to you've got to read traffic and pick the faster lane. And he's just picked the wrong lane there. That's all that is. He's picked the wrong lane and tried to cover for it. And the worst part is, from his perspective, he knows he's got a car to his inside, but he doesn't know where that car is. He knows there's a car there. His spotter will be telling him there's a car there. And if he'd waited another 2 seconds, he's clear.
I just haven't had a good night tonight. I'm so, in producer mode now. That's frustrating. All right.
I know. We are now a significant distance into this race. We are 23 laps in. Who is going to come down and take a fresh set of rubber? Well, one of the first drivers I believe who may have taken fresh rubber is actually Nathan Allen. He put on lap 12. Although that may have been a damage repair. There's a couple drivers in now. Hayden Norris is one of them. Bradley Oldfield is another. We are just under a third of the way through this race. and there are 3 sets of tyres to go through the distance of the race, including the set to start on. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Matty Keane's going to find himself in the top 10. I believe that's one of the season high performances from Mr. Keane. Chris Tomlin hanging about in P10. He's having a reasonable season for himself. Look at that new livery. Can we get a close-up shot of that new livery, Chris? Shibby? Chris is the guy on screen. Yes. As you can see, my brain functions very simply.
Read it and speak it. Done.
I read what was on screen. I spoke it. Kobe Jordan, whose teammates, this is the inside lane sim sports. For Kobe Jordan, Luke Crum, and Christopher Tomlin. All 3 of them got new liveries tonight, representing their new sets of sponsors. Inside Lane Sim Sports and LCR Esports have merged. Christopher Tomlin and I will be running the new paints in tonight's race. So that's Chris Tomlin's. Can we get a shot of Kobe Jordan? That'll tell us what the new paints look like for him. Even though they're different colours, ladies and gentlemen, they're part of the same team. That is Kobe Jordan's new set of wheels. They are pretty. They're busy. There's a lot going on. They're pretty.
Isn't that the most of things with NASCARs and NASTRUCKS? There's always a lot happening on their paints.
Not necessarily. I'm always a big fan of the Monster Energy paint, which tends to be run by one of my favourite drivers is Kurt Busch, driver of the 45 this season in NASCAR Cup Series. Ladies and gentlemen, if you support a driver in NASCAR Cup Series, let us know out there. Want to hear about you? There's a few drivers to support. Denny Hamlin's another one. Chase Elliott. Who doesn't love Chase Elliott? That was a popular victory with the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series title, I believe it was. Maybe a Kyle Larson fan won it last year. Do you support a manufacturer? Are you a Penske team supporter? What about Kevin Harvick getting his win out of Michigan a few weeks ago?
I think we're just about to come round and going green. Nate Allen on Facebook dropped in and he said, I'm just here for fun, and he said he needs more Nathans. Well, mate, I'm always in the comm box cheering you on, mate. If we don't have an SRW driver out there, always cheering you on, buddy, always.
So I've just been alerted. Last week I stuffed up qualifying. This week I've stuffed up the number of tyres. They've got as many sets of tyres as they want.
Burn rubber, boys.
Get out there, grab a new set of rubber, get back down. Righto, it's time to settle ourselves back in, and the inside lane Sim Sports drivers are nearly side by side here. Tomlin on the outside, we're trying to get around his teammate on the inside, Kobe Jordan, and keep your eyes on Alan Dawson's having a phenomenal night up there as well. Stewart, winner of last week's race, is right there, and Barnett, Supercars, they're doing extremely well here tonight. Have a look at the right sim racing cars, starting to come back to the fore with the open style of racing. So it's going to be on the drivers from the back of the field. We've now got fresh rubber. Glenn McLeod is actually the further through the field on fresh rubber. This is the view out the front end of the 062 car. You probably see to his inside, if you roll that camera around, there's probably a truck down there to his inside racing him quite hard. No, it's going to clear itself out once again, disappear into the background. And then he'll look himself forwards once again, gets back down there. That's Harry Stewart that's trying to lock himself in, and Tris Tomlin's now starting to get the skates on. He's looking for some moves in the high lane of turn 1 and 2. He's going to keep the momentum up. Look at the drive. He's getting through the middle of turn 1. Well done, Chris Tomlin. That's a move to the high side. Stewart's going to try and lock himself back into that high lane. That is where the momentum is, and he's recognised it. Now they're 3 wide on the entry to turn number 3. Running in the high lane there is going to be, I believe that's Kobe Jordan, nearly makes contact with the outside barrier. Matty Keane's going to try and look for an opening here to try and get his way through. And will Stewart provide the drafting support that these guys need? Sorry, that's Joel Berkeley, who's having a phenomenal run. Slow car down there on the inside, I believe, might be the returning to the racetrack. It's going to be one of the Fishy Motorsports drivers. As drivers in the background starting to make a huge number of moves. Darren Palmer is starting to be the cork in the bottle for a huge group of these guys. And have a look at the 08. Delaney's going to slend it to the high side, back on the lead lap now. He's got a fresh set of boots and he's looking to get aggressive. Why wouldn't you? You've got to make track position now, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to make a ton of it. pack racing. It's good fun. Look at where all the draft lanes are going. They're weaving in and out. They're trying to find that open lane, trying to get that run on somebody. Steen dives down to the inside. Was locked in turn 1 and 2. Palmer is going to go 3 wide right here, and to the outside of him, Bradley Oldfield's going to get it done. Horsewheel and the check up there from Blake Delaney so he can slot back into that lane. May have been a slight rub with that outside barrier. We'll have to keep our eyes on that one. Oldfield still looking for the spots, and on the inside there, that'll be Jared Steen continuing to go backwards behind Darren Parmenter. And look at McLeod now starting to move on, looking for the free lane. Parmenter's getting real tidy with Glenn McLeod in that high lane. McLeod's going to keep the momentum up. Steen hit the apron there. He's going to check up huge to try and make it around the top. And Nathan Allen's going to get to his outside quarter panel and get that move done down the straightaway. Huge shed of steam up for the driver of the 83. Pick your lane, any lane, pick one of them and go forwards. Now that set of rubber is starting to make itself well heard. Andy Barber's going to try and get his way around Steen. Barber looked like he was locked to the bottom lane. He'll get that move done on the way into turn 1. No, he won't. Going to stick it down the inside again. Now back up to the front end of town. Paul Bryan's starting to make moves. Indeed, Paul Bryan's made all of the moves. He now leads from Logan Barnett, the driver of the 011, in behind the 623 of Chris Island. Still having a strong run. He got passed by Bryan in the early running of things, and now Barnett has to check up big time in the middle of turn 3 and 4. Barnett will be a little bit cross with that one, and here comes Scalzi. He's going to have a crack. The man who dresses his cats up like the 7 Dwarves. Well, sometimes you overlook the heads of the Dwarves, and they have a quiet race, but it might be a successful one from the driver of the 605. And have a look at that pack. They are starting to close in. Will Fresh Rubber tell the difference? Furthest driver up through the field now on Fresh Rubber. Keep your eyes out for the 08 driver, Blake Delaney. He's up to 14th after restarting down near 30th. He is cutting his way through traffic. And the Tinder cars starting to work themselves together. Berkeley's going to try and go around the outside here. And will just about get that move done. I'm keen to see where Scalzi get to. Nathan Allen still trying to get a move done on Darren Palmer way back in the background as well. Everyone's still searching for that open lane. Here comes a run up at the front. It's time to check in with our leaders because Barnett's got a huge head of steam going. And he's going to have a crack at getting to the outside door of Paul Bryan. He's just about got there. Ran out of steam. Didn't quite get the draft he wants. Now he will get to the high side of Paul Bryan. And Bryan got a little bit tight down on the apron, had to lift off. Barnett gets the run from the high side. No drafting support at this stage. No one there to bump draft and push him past. See if he can get it done down through turn 3. The bump on the entry to turn 3 unsettles the car. There's a huge bump down there. Had to lift off, car in the wall. Was that Jai Schultz? Indeed it was the driver of the 27. Logan Barnett crosses the start-finish line. New race leader. Keep your eye in the mid-pack. Jai Schultz will try and pick his night up after a rub with that wall. Still has some momentum to the top side. He'll get support from Blake Delaney on those fresh tyres. And we've now been green for a long period here. 12 laps now. And Delaney's going to get to the outside of Schultz here. He'll have to be careful because Schultz will come back up. Delaney's just locked into that spot. He's looking for a run still to the outside of the 27. 27 will cover that run off now. This is how outside it is. Drivers wiggling all over the place. Delaney's got fresh tyres, and look at what they're doing. Nearly 3 wide through the middle of turn 2. He picks himself up 2 spots, thanks to the Tindermobiles. To the bumper here. Now he'll have to check himself up. That'll check the run out. Oh, he's caught the barrier from Blake Delaney. There wasn't quite enough room there, and the driver of the 08 loses a ton of spots. He was up just outside the top 10, and then now he'll slot back in around 20th. Bradley Oldfield's made a huge amount of time up. Oh, rubbing, door banging. It's what you want to see from the NASCAR Truck Series. Aiden Schultz will take advantage and grab himself 4 spots down the inside of turn 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, Ireland's tyres starting to go, and Schultz has been hanging on to those things. Treating them to a nice, fine dining ride from Aiden Schultz. He's looked after his tyres. Will Berkeley support him here? Berkeley will get to his outside, use a little bit of side draft pulling backwards. And they'll go into turn 1 for another lap. Keep your eyes on Bradley Oldfield, though, because Oldfield's now got a fresh set of tyres with the leaders. Worked his way back into P3. This is an amazing drive from Oldfield.
Look, I know I haven't said much so far, but Scotty, man, you're doing a good job. And this has been some beautiful pack racing so far.
There's everywhere you look, there's
so
racing.
Close. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is. And it's just about one guy bobbles, everyone in that lane checks up, you gain 3 spots, you go down the other end of the track, somebody else bobbles, you lose all those spots. Through the inside, Chris Tomlin, why don't ya? Now he'll lock on a Matty Keane up ahead of him, and he'll try and set sail here. This is a great opportunity for the driver of the 212.
Got 2 teammates right next to each other. Let's see what they can do working together.
Ton of damage on both cars there involved. A 080, I believe, is Jamie Dyke. And Kobe Jordan's got a huge amount of damage to the front end. Jamie Dyke's actually off the lead lap, so he's actually not fighting for position here.
Oh, he is too. I've just noticed that myself. We've got a couple of guys that fell off the lead lap. I wonder if that happened in that instant. They didn't make it back around in time.
Well, try and settle ourselves back in. Oldfield is going to try and have a go here at Paul Bryan. Logan Barnett is now our lead driver, and he has set sail. So again, it's going to be the Tinder cars coming to the fore. They say swipe right. Well, maybe it's not swipe right for a Tinder date. Maybe it's swipe right to match with success, as they've been seeing the last couple of weeks. Glenn McLeod here is going to have Scalzi to his outside. Scalzi's tyres starting to look a little bit second-hand. He'll settle himself in, see what he can get done. Glenn McLeod is actually on fresher rubber. He should be making a little bit of a surge forward. Hasn't done so. Nathan Gore as well. A couple drivers here on fresh rubber. Blake Delaney, Nathan Gore, Bradley Oldfield, and Andy Barbary, 4 drivers that did grab fresh rubber under the last caution.
Petey Morris up into 9th place.
This is season high performance for Pete Morris.
Mate.
He's having a cracking race.
He's doing fantastic. As I said, though, he has been putting some time
Yes.
out of SRW in some of the other leagues and officials.
Oh, first driver to blink. Jai Schultz has led a lot of laps here today. Spinner on pit road. It is Jai Schultz. Locked it up on the way in, sideways on the entry, and he will lose a ton of time, and he may even get a speeding penalty.
I missed that. I just saw him plummeting down the timing table. I thought he'd blinked and I was having issues again. But that wasn't the case.
He led a lot of laps in the early running of things, so he would have burned the most fuel out of everyone that was up there. He was punching a hole in the air for these guys.
Something new to the timing tower. Oh, if we have an incident, just like that. Oh, Mr. Morris.
Seems it does Pete Morris, and that is not going to be what Jai Schultz wanted to see. He's done well. He's tried to get himself back out of the way and not interfere with everyone. There was something that just happened there, though, to Pete. That wasn't on his own. So we'll get ourselves a DSL Welding Services action replay here in a few moments.
Yeah, we're just going to use a bit of movie magic and go like this for the moment because I don't have much else of a choice.
Doesn't pick it up all that well. So this will be basically somebody here has just gotten a little bit unsettled in this queue. So the Matty Keane, he'll dive down the inside. There's a car underneath you, Pete. You can't come down there, buddy.
No, because that might just happen.
Well, see, the problem is, so the way to think about it in terms of NASCAR, normally in road series you would say, oh, well, that car's not going to significant overlap. In NASCAR, doesn't matter. If there's a car down there, you don't do that. You know why? Because that exact incident will happen. The instant that there is a car below you, do not come down.
Don't do it.
So there'll be a few takers here, maybe potentially, who will take a wave around and return themselves to the lead lap.
Lots of people. Just the whole field nearly have just hit the pits.
Good opportunity here for Blake Delaney to grab himself a fast repair. Series leader.
It looks like an easy 50-60% of the field have hit the pits under caution.
I think it's an easy call. The remaining, everyone that's on the lead lap has pit. Everyone that's not on the lead lap has stayed out. Smart decision. Well, see, the thing is, actually, the pit lane is closed. So watch that timing tower shuffle at the moment. That's because everyone's diving through their stalls. It will realign itself. Logan Barnett will continue to hold the lead. Paul Bryan will slot into P3. Bradley Oldfield is going to be P2. Aiden Schultz has gained a ton of spots there. Huge outcome for him. Joel Berkeley's going to come out with a lot of spots. So we've got 3 Tinder cars inside the top 6. Kobe Jordan's now fighting for a decent position. Matty Keane was just involved in that incident. No further action was the call from race control. Chris Tomlin and Glenn McLeod are going to be your top 10. Blake Delaney back to P18, so at least he's got a fresh car, fresh rubber, but the rubber advantage has now normalized itself. He was going to the front, just missed a gap slightly, stuck his nose. Every single time he seemed to get a run on somebody, he had to check up. So he was not having fun in that last green period. Remember what I said too, it's not about... What you do in NASCAR is you do want to get to their bumper and you do want to shove them. So you do want to do what's called bump drafting, which is where you'll lock bumpers with the car ahead. 2 cars are working together. Only one of you will be suffering from aero drag, so it actually makes the 2 engines work better together. It spreads out the aero loss across the 2 cars evenly, which is a big gain. From there, a few drivers are actually pitting and will lose the opportunity to gain that wave around. So...
yeah, I just saw George Minus, Andy Barber, Robbie Griffith, and Peter Gretton all pull in the pits.
Well, that was not the best thing they could have done. They needed to get themselves back on the lead lap through any strategy they possibly could. The other option is they may have been just about to run out of fuel.
So they had no choice. Had to be done.
Yeah, so what you normally do, and this is what I'll normally do, is if I'm off the lead lap and there's cautions coming out, I'll just pit every single time. Why? NASCAR will shuffle all lapped cars to the rear end of the field no matter what happens under a caution. So either way, you're going to be starting at the back. So if you can't get the wave around, so the first time you go past the pit lane, once the safety car has caught the pack, all of the lead lap cars get the opportunity to pit, but none of the lap down cars can. So all the lap down cars will stay out. Then you take a quick look at your relative. If you are behind the safety car and ahead of the leader, you stay out, you get your lap back. If you are behind the leader, well, you're not going to get your lap back from a wave around because basically they wave all the lap cars ahead of Logan Barnett. That's what you're seeing now at the Wonder Green symbol. So they will not get the opportunity to pit before we go back to green flag racing. Or they will receive a penalty if they do. So you look to try and gain that back wherever you can. These guys have now taken the opportunity to do that. If that's not on the table, you come down and you grab a fresh little rubber, you go a fresh filled fuel tank so that you're playing yourself back into the game in terms of strategy. So if you're not going to get one's not going to play out in your favor, you take the other. When you're on the lead lap, the strategy changes because you want to stay as far up the track without losing out on the long run. These drivers, a lot of them will probably opt to go home from here. This will probably be their last stop. Why? Because even if I'm at the back of the pack and we get a caution with, say, 10 laps left to run, I'm staying out. The reason for that is you're not going to find your way from the back end of the pack all the way to the front, so you may as well just have a crack. But anyway, strategy chicken will be played over the remaining 27 laps of this race. 37 laps of this race. We're just past halfway. And we're back to green. Logan Barnett gets a huge launch and the car in behind him. Bradley Oldfield will try and get some support. That's the view from the rear bumper of the 011, the leader. And have a look at the swarm lining up behind Bradley Oldfield to take it away from him. Berkeley on the inside is going to lose a spot away to Aiden Schultz, who's got the run to the outside. And here comes the defending champ. He's going to get blocked to the inside from Bradley Oldfield. Throws a fake. He'll get down to the inside as the number 1 truck got what it takes to take this lead away. Starts to check up the track just a little bit. But the draft pack will be to the inside down this front stretch. Doesn't matter, because Oldfield's going to steal that one back. Now it'll be Aiden Schultz. He had to check up. He lost all that momentum. Schultz is going to use the wise old head that he's got on board, and he'll take that spot away from him now. You have a shot, you lose your opportunity, and you throw another 2 spots away with it. He will not get support yet again. So from Paul Bryan contesting from P2, he slides back to P5 in the space of a lap. And again, he'll try and settle it back down on the inside of Harry Stewart here, but Stewart's got such a head of steam. And draft support. Will he finally be able to slot in here, Paul Bryan? I think he will. The issue he's now got is he will have overheated, overworked that front right tyre. He's got to call that down and look after it. Joe Berkeley and Matty Keane are going to go head-to-head here. We'll see if this one finally solves itself out. And Daniel Weaver, after being involved in that spin on lap 1, now finds himself slotting back up here just outside the top 15. He'll take a spot away from Jared Steen, who had a phenomenal run a few weeks ago, I believe, at the Daytona Road Course. Andy Barber not been his night. And Grant Matterford return to the series, doing reasonably well. Got in late. I don't think he just barely got the opportunity to set a qualifying time, so I don't know how much practice he's got. Colin McLeod will lose a spot here to Jai Schultz, and now he's going to have Peter Gretton knocking all over his door. Gretton will get to the inside, see if he can get that one away from him. McLeod's got a whole bunch of momentum to the high side. He'll hang on to the spot once more. Now the driver of the 605 will get to the outside of Chris Tomlin's 212, and that's Scalzi. He's having a good old shot up there for the Riot Sim Racing crew. 159 driver just in there ahead. Dawson, sorry. That'll be... No, I've lost it. That'll be Dan Weaver. Started to try and continue to rebuild that run. Still looking to defend down to the inside. Chris Ireland's gone a long way back. So Ireland will be looking to try and shuffle his way through the pack. Remember running up in the podium places for much of this race so far for Chris Ireland. He'll block the run to the high side. He wants to get back up there where the draft lane is. Chris Tomlin's going to send it back down the inside of Scalzi. He'll have another crack. Will he finally be able to clear the 605? Not quite. Blinking car up ahead on the outside. I believe that's George Minus who'll try and get his way out of the way. He will do his absolute best to let these guys on through. Sticks himself to the high lane. And now it is going to be Chris Ireland who will look to clear Tomlin off of this corner, and will do so, gets the spot away from him. So Chris Ireland back to P12. He will continue to try and make a strong run towards the tail end of this race. Burn those tyres off. Minus caught the wall. We're going to get another caution here. Whole bunch of trucks trying to take avoiding action there. Get caught up in this one. And we will have another caution here with, I believe, 27 laps left to go. And is that Blake Delaney involved in that one?
Yeah, it looks like it, man. So we're going to go back.
That's George just trying to give as much space as he possibly can to everybody he can.
Oh, that was a big hit there. Man, pack racing this close is crazy.
Isn't it?
Any little like movement in a truck,
there's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do.
It's just gonna unsettle the whole, just into the wall a little bit, and then it's just unsettled. And
have a look at the amount of cars that get through there. The seas parted. Go back and watch that from Jared Steen's point of view. You saw the opportunity close for Blake Delaney to get through that one. For everyone else immediately behind Mr. Delaney, the seas parted. The seas closed. It's... Who was it that was chasing Moses through the Red Sea when the sea collapsed back in on itself? To use a religious reference.
Oh.
That's what it looked like for Blake Delaney. I have no idea. That's going too far back for me. Jared Steen, if you rewind it, he'll get the opportunity to sail through. You'll see this. You'll see the cars pop into view. Right, play it from here. So Mr. Steen's just having a leisurely old run, just chilling out here. Watching everything that's going on. Remember, you can't see anything. Can't see anything? Now you see smoke. Oh no. Oh no. Where do I go? Where do I go? It's all blocked? Now it's the seas are parted. Perfect.
Oh, look how close Delaney comes. Oh my gosh. Oh. Down both sides. Wow.
And if you lift up that visor, I'm sure there would be a face of raw fear on his face. He'll come into the pits, I'm sure, and ask for 4 tyres and a change of underwear, I think.
Oh, indeed. Sarah Kay has dropped in. Thanks for dropping in. I'd just like to say a huge shout out. Thanks everybody for dropping in tonight. I know you've been missing my beautiful voice. Yeah, it's
there you go, the Egyptians.
Yeah.
Bashful, Doc, Dopey, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, and Sneezy. Those are the 7 dwarves.
And he has 7 cats named exactly that. So.
I thought it might have been the 6 teammates and himself. He's Skullsy. He's got to be sleepy, right? Skullsy's got to be sleepy.
I don't know. Look, I could be sleepy. I do enjoy sleeping, so.
You know what? There's an interesting idea. Of all the sim racing world commentators that we have here, which of the 7 dwarves would you name them after? Who would Toddy? Let's go. Let's start with Toddy. Who would you, of the 7 dwarves, which one would Toddy be?
I don't know. That's so hard. What happens if there isn't a dwarf that, explains his type of personality?
I think there's Happy. Toddy's always in a good mood.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he does have a very bubbly personality, so I suppose you could just slap him down in is Happy. That's probably the best pick. I'm gonna put Dean down as sleepy. Not that he sleeps a lot, but he's always tired because not Dean, Steven. Steven, because of the amount of work that he does. He's always tired.
I'm gonna put you down as Sneezy.
Sure, why not?
You've been sick a fair bit lately. Actually, no. Dano would be Sneezy lately.
Yeah, I was gonna say, mate, he gets sick. I'm sorry.
You'd be Doc. You're the one looking after everyone.
I eat dirt for breakfast on my Weet-Bix. That's how Australian I am. A layer of Vegemite and then some Aussie dirt from out the back.
We call that Nutella, mate. It's okay.
No, I don't do sweets, eh? Can't do chocolates. Can't do Nutella. Don't eat cakes. Except maybe occasionally a jam donut or a jam sponge cake.
A jammy dodger? It's a British reference. Unfortunately, mate, I'm going to have to quit. That's it. You don't eat sweets. We're done. I can't talk to you anymore.
Yeah, I overdid it when I was a young chap, and now I can't handle it.
I live
sickening.
for Easter Sunday every year.
It is.
I may be
sickening.
30, but the Easter Bunny still visits every year.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny visits me too. It usually gets handed to the kids or my wife. Yeah.
No. The Easter Bunny visits me.
Nath Allen has dropped in and said, Scotty is just all of them.
Is there a Rattlegun dwarf?
Yeah.
Anyway, pace car's going to peel itself off. That's another caution that's wrapped itself up. Logan Barnett leaves the field back to green, and a good jump again from the outside for Barry Oldfield. Aiden Schultz starting to show a little bit of pace, gets himself up to the 4, started all the way back. He's getting himself 21 spots. Make that 22 as he gets the nose ahead. Barry Oldfield will have the run to the high side, and have a look at Matty Keen's going to have a go here. This is Keen's best run so far.
We had nearly 4 fourths. That was looking like it was going to be 4 wide then. I was getting a little worried.
We've had a huge wreck down towards the tail end of things. Apologies for the microphone difficulties.
Yeah, I was just trying to sort that out, and then we've had an incident.
You? Yep. You look away for 2 moments, and a caution breaks out.
Alright, so I can see, looks like Daniel Weaver has an off track. Whether that...
And series leader Blake Delaney has called it quits. That means he's out of fast repairs and that car is all bent up. So this will probably tell a little bit of story. Are they 4 wide up ahead? I think they are. Car in the fence.
So the
multiple cars in the fence.
Starts before this. Oh, was that an instant? Oh, we've got blinking there. Instant. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
It's just that many cars out on track. It's your computer has decided I don't like any of this. Robbie Griffiths is going to keep an eye up ahead. He's got a car to his left, so he can't come down the track. That car's now cleared him, and that was Greg Leake, who might actually just squeeze through there.
What a car. Okay, I need to see. Stop. Stop. Wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Howard has given up.
Here we go. Okay, thank you, SDK. All right, so looks like it started with Grant Matterford and
And
number 9
Darren Palmer.
Darren Palmer. So let's go back.
So it's not been a hugely... Oh, no, it started up ahead. Palmer is involved in it. Matterford just arrives on the scene.
All right, let's start here then.
Right, so they're 3 wide. Andy Barber and Jai Schultz on the inside, and Palmer has just bounced off the wall. So he's got sucked in and stuck, and then everyone else has just arrived at such a speed that they've had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's just racing. What do you do? Moving this quick in a truck that doesn't stop when you put your foot on the brakes, and all that weight behind it, there is just nothing you.
Well, I mean, have a look at where Darren's going. The problem for Grant is if he checks up, the Tinder car that was immediately behind him just rear ends him. He can't check up because the Tinder car's got completely unsighted.
Oh my gosh! Usually I'm more excited for incidents, but the whole got stuck in producer mode, I think, burnt me out at the start of the stream.
Check this out from Matty Keane. Check this out from Matty Keane. He is having a bang-up night.
Oh, let's go. This is his first race in the trucks, isn't it?
No. He's raced a few. I am going to do some fun things here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and grab Skullsy, I think, and see if we can talk to him. Skullsy! It's Shibby and Mr. Rankin up here in the SLW broadcast booth. How are you doing?
Very well, yes.
You're not too bad. A little birdie told me a rumor.
Yes.
You have 7 cats.
All made up. I have 2 cats.
Because my wife would be immediately asking for your address and if she can move in with you.
She could take the cats if I had 7.
Mate, so you've got 2 cats. Do you dress them all up like the 7 dwarves?
No, but it's good to see the boys are tuning in.
Mate, talk to us a little bit about your night. You got really far up the field in terms of that early running. The tyres, just in that last long run, they just went away from you. You've drifted a further back. Find yourself just inside the top 10 now. What's the goal from here? Fresh Cinderella? You stayed out? Talk to us about Spat.
Don't know. Just wait and see what the front of the field does. I've got no idea. So, yeah, earlier I got into a little bit of an incident. I think Ireland hit the wall in front of me and I cleaned him up, gave me a bit of damage, but clean car and we'll see. I'll follow whatever these do if we get more safety cars.
Well, talk to us about that incident with Chris Island, because we didn't actually see that. We saw you and Chris Island drop back aggressively. We didn't know why. So it's just Chris just got a little bit too high out of the groove and just barely slapped the wall.
Yeah, correct. He just clipped the top and I straight to the back of him because I thought he was going to be clear. So
how do you feel in terms of tyres? Do you think you've got the tyres advantage over everyone else here at the moment? Do you think you hang on to them better, or you've got raw pace?
I think we're all on similar tyres, I think, but mine will be fuel, whether I can make it or not. I'm hoping for another safety car.
All right, mate. Best of luck. I'll send you back to your team, buddy. Have a good night.
Too easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Skulls. Chat has been lying to us again. That's what I've heard. Nate?
Yeah, and just as I read chat, Alan James has said, I bet no one has been re-ended on Tinder.
Yeah, there's a different site for that. It's called Grindr. That's why. Pace car is going to pull off to the inside. Logan Barnett's going to pull us away. And Schultz will try and get a good, strong start behind him. Does so. Chris Tomlin is going to jump out of line, try and grab himself a spot. There's a car there that's gone absolutely nowhere. Don't know who it was, but they're going to be maybe 3 wide when they get down here to turn number 1 yet again. Aiden Schultz is going to try and grab himself away P2. Nearly gets clear. Doesn't quite. Does not quite, just barely. There was a foot in that. If he was a foot further forwards, he gets clear, he slots into the top groove. He's got P2 done. Can he get it done down here in turn 2 and 3? Matty Keane has come from nowhere. Gets a huge run, has to check up out of that one, and the car on the high side is going to be old fuel. He'll settle himself back in a queue, loses a whole ton of spots, and still getting nudged around his old fuel. We're going to go 3 wide into turn number 1 once more. Matty Keane was having a run there. He thought he was on. Got a huge launch. So Oldfield's struggling now. He will continue to drop. So we'll keep our eyes up and down the field. Cars going forwards, cars going backwards. Means that Mr. Shibby has a whole bunch of hard time trying to track everything. That is the drone cam. Look at how beautiful that is running down the front stretch. with fans on the right-hand side. Well, the fans out there on YouTube, what's been your moment so far tonight? Gary Redcliffe returns that number 85, gets a little bit tight off at the bottom, has to check out the throttle. That position will go to Andy Barber on at the top rope. Hayden Norris has not had a good return to the series. Remember, he was challenging for podiums all last season. That has how much the level has gone up this year, this season even.
All the new drivers brought into our league has been fantastic, and it's just made the NASCARs more exciting to watch every week. And it proves it in this race so far. The pack, as I say, that Jay is caught up in the back.
Jai Schultz will catch it. Shoes wreck coming down the back stretch. Cars will scatter. Who will get through? Who will die? Steen gets a piece of it there at the tail end, and it's Alan Dawson who got one of the biggest pieces of it. Aiden Schultz will start off the outside of the front row at the moment. Maybe coming back in for a splash of gas and a fresh set of rubber. We'll see. This is Strategy Chicken. Who blinks? Who can get home from here? Because you know, Mr. Skulls will be saving fuel. He's grabbed himself a couple spots. He sits P8 now, so he's grabbed one spot after that last restart. Paul Bryan's back up to P4. Matty Keane. This is a phenomenal run for Matty Keane.
Oh my gosh.
And Chris Ireland's night goes from absolute master to absolute disaster. He just cannot, since that early running, he can't find himself in the right place at the right time at all. And Chai's just on the outside of the car. So that's Skulls, by the look at that.
605.
The problem is, so how this works is that when that car gets to your outside quarter panel like that, it basically just sucks it in. So effectively, from where Jai Schultz was parked, that sucks the car off the middle groove and sucked the air off the bumper, and he's had no grip.
Nowhere to go again.
He might get penalised for it. Watch the cars scatter here too. You know what this does mean? We're getting closer and closer to the NASCAR overtime.
NASCAR overtime. Oh no, that car's getting absolutely speared up into the top line.
That's Darren Parmenter. He was involved in the last one. That might be night done for Mr. Parmenter. Oh, unfortunate for who's on the bottom side. They got away with that, actually.
He was actually coming down to. It looked like he was coming down to get off track, and he just clipped another car out of control, which just sent him straight back up. Oh, mate, unlucky. Well, that's what happens. These trucks still hit 300 kilometers an hour.
Well, I can tell you now, the strategy chicken has been played. Who has won? Who has lost? We have a short run to the end here. We've got about 15 laps, 14 laps or so to go. That will decide strategy chicken. Whose favour will it play out in? Drivers that have stayed out, Harry Stewart, Logan Barnett has pit. Something's happened there to Logan Barnett. He's still in the pit lane. He might have been involved in that one, you know?
There was quite, as you can see, as the cars were scattering towards the end there was a few other cars that came through and got clipped by rogue cars flying all over the place. So, good chance. Not that I can see anything that suggests that he was involved.
We'll find out. Take a look up and down the pack at the moment. Nathan Gore is going to settle into P3. He will have a real old rubber. Last pit on lap 62. That was actually only 9 laps ago. So he's been the big benefactor of Strategy Chicken. These drivers came down underneath the last caution and got some rubber. Peter Morris is going to come alongside of him. He will slot himself up into P number 4. Hayden Norris, pit under lap 58, so 4 laps prior, would have been under that previous caution as well. He grabs himself P5. Grant Matterford as well, another driver that took under the last caution. Then, from P7 backwards, drivers that pit under the most recent caution. Most recent caution. So, Aiden Schultz, Kobe Jordan, Christopher Tomlin, Matty Keane, Glenn McLeod. So that's critical. That P7 right now, that is the cutoff marker for who has pit, who has not pit under this caution. 6 cars are going to have to launch themselves off on older rubber here, but Nathan Gore and Peter Morris have got a great opportunity to launch off and launch themselves off well. Wouldn't it be phenomenal to see the Sipometer in the podium here this evening?
Oh, definitely.
That would be a popular podium.
He's racing well and hasn't dropped in to say anything. So I'm wondering if he's put the old sipper meter down tonight and he's getting getting a bit more serious.
I was going to say, I think it's been a little bit busy for him because there's been a busy track. The track's been chock-a-block with guys passing each other left and right. You know who I do want to talk to? Who we will call into the booth? If we get another caution here in a moment, I will actually call on Greg Leake. We'll see if we can get him for a chat. That'll be an interesting conversation.
Leaky in?
Yeah.
Well, look, he's helping push the pack forward, so I'm sure at any point in time... Actually, no, don't get him in while we're live. I saw a great not top 10 in iRacing where they actually rang one of the drivers on his personal phone and he was on lead lap, last lap of the race, and he answered his phone and lost the race, hit the wall, and it was over.
I've done that, you know, I've had food delivered in the middle of a race and I've gone to grab my phone and say, hey, can you just leave it by the door? I'll be out. This is almost over. Just leave it there. And I've done that. So anyway, driver's going to lead us back off once again. Hold in the field. Holding him. Finally launches away. Harry Stewart. Paul Bryan's going to slot immediately down onto that bottom lane and try and settle in. And it's going to be a 14. It's going to be a 11-lap shootout here to the end of the race. I think your last pit stops now have been run and done. Paul Bryan gets a huge launch, huge head of steam up, and now he's going to get to that inside bumper. He's left the door open as Harry Stewart, and now Paul Bryan's going to slam that door wide open. We'll see if he can get this move done. He's down there, he's alongside, but Stewart's had a phenomenal run to turn 3 and 4. He'll hang on to the lead at the line. Yes, he will clear Paul Bryan once again. And Bryan cannot just get that move finished. He's getting there, but he's not getting it done. Huge contact. Peter Morris is in it. Huge wreck right in front of the field. You're going to see a whole huge number of cars pile into this one. My word, what's going on here? And a reminder that this is all caused by drivers on old tyres. They've stayed out to try and buy themselves some track position. So there's a run coming to his outside. He's tried to come up and block that run away, and the car's just there.
Barely takes a touch, doesn't it, at this speed?
That's just wrong moment at wrong time. He's literally got... They've both gone for the same bit of racetrack at the exact same time. And Matty Keen's run of strong driving here tonight is going to come to an end. Grant Matterford just barely gets involved in that. Might get away with that. Aidan Schultz was having a phenomenal night. Gets involved. Matty Skulls. Maybe it's don't talk to the commentary box. You know who we can talk to, though, now? We'll actually go ahead and cross to Greg Leake. Hey, Greg, you've never been in the interview room, mate, so I thought we'd throw you a solid under this caution and see if we can get you in. Can you talk and drive at the same thing? Is that something you can get done?
Mate, at my age, I can only do one thing at a time.
Right, so take your foot off the pedal, take your hands off the wheel. Mate, how's the racing been out there from Chicagoland Speedway tonight?
Mate, I'm having a ball.
Talk to us about the moment that you had in practice last week. We did some practice starts from Darlington, and you just hear this laughter in the chat. Talk to us about what it's like for you in these trucks.
It's a joke for me. It's just fun. I just keep yelling out, turn right, Clyde.
Turn right.
I mean, have you seen Cars the movie, Leaky?
No.
Okay.
It's a cartoon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
too old
an animated movie. No, it's about racing cars, mate.
Really?
It's got a great story about it. It's all about NASCAR, actually.
Yes.
Oh, real?
Yeah.
You're going to have to go watch it now.
You'll have to. You'll
This is
probably
fun.
find to enjoy it.
Redesigning my car, the aerodynamics on the front of it, if you might notice. I've redesigned them a bit. But I'm still going.
There's crinkles there in the bumper. So what does crinkles make you go faster?
Extra airflow. Keep the engine cool.
Well, it matches my face, all the wrinkles.
Mate, how's the night going in terms of positions at the moment? You're running there in P18, but you're still on the lead lap. You're still an opportunity. Anything can happen up ahead of you.
Am I on the lead lap? Nah, I can't believe that.
No, you're just off the lead lap. You're just off the lead lap.
One or two off. Although I did get to have a hot dog.
The lucky dog.
Yeah, I got a hot dog. I got one with sauce and mustard.
You got a hot dog instead of the lucky dog.
So what he's actually referring to, ladies and gentlemen, is a rule known as the lucky dog, which is the first car that's one on the lap down actually gets their lap back whenever we get a caution. So, Leaky, if there's another caution here, you might be into the shot, mate. What do you think your chances are of getting Nike on the lead lap?
I don't know. They all going to wipe out. Need a wipe out for me to get to the front.
Look, it could take 1 or 2 drivers, mate, and you could be up there in the top 10.
I agree. I think Leaky's an outside shot. Now that we've said that to you, Leaky, you realise the commentator's curse is going to take over and you're going to finish dead last.
Yeah, but do you realise it's the only third time I've ever driven them?
Mate, let's talk about a little bit about your teammate here. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never done any English or spelling lessons whatsoever. But I'm pretty sure George isn't spelled G-R-E.
Do it in Greek. That's Greg in Greek.
Talk to us about Team Greg Racing. What's the environment like over there for you boys?
Oh, mate, we hang out in the recreation room at the retirement village, you know.
So that's where they got all the simulators plugged in. Which retirement village and when can I join up?
You got to get a few more years on you yet, buddy.
All right, mate. You look like you're getting set for a restart here, so we might leave you with it. Thanks for the chat, Greggy.
All right, boys. Have fun.
Good luck, brother. Good luck.
Looks like Mr. Peter Morris of the Sippermeter is out. He has dropped into the chat and said hi with a sad face. So, unlucky, mate. We definitely don't want to see any trucks get taken out. Well, secretly sometimes I do, but mate, look, unlucky. I'm just glad to have you in the chat with us, finishing up watching the race. As we are, oh my gosh, we are so close to, all we need is an incident. Oh, is it going to happen, Scotty?
We do. We only need one more caution and we're there. Just one piece of advice I'd say for you, Pete, is predict where the run's going to come to and how much of that run's going to happen. Like, how much do you want to cover it? If you block that run off nice and early, you'll be fine, but it's just, you just went for the block just a fraction of a moment too late. Something you throw in your book for next week, that's all. That's a little bit of advice I'd offer to Petey Morris. But anyway, we are going to set ourselves up for another restart here. There is a heavily smoking truck, and I think it's the 03 of Wade Sheedy. So we'll see if he can get himself back around and complete another lap here. Front row is going to be cars with the number 1 in them. It's the 11 and the 01 of Paul Bryan. Gets himself underway, and there they go. Stewart gets a good launch. Bryan will slot in, and we'll see if he can steal the lead away this time. Maybe he'll try and steal the lead from the outside. Tries to get to the outside of Harry Stewart. Has he gotten there? No, not quite. He will get a run here. Car rejoining the race from pit lane. Might be Scalzi. He'll get down there. Bryan is underneath him. He's going to try and wiggle himself up, try and get a little bit of room. They make contact in front of the field, and Stewart finds the barrier. They both get away with it. Chris Tomlin now scoops up a whole bunch of positions, and I think Kobe Jordan's come away with the race lead. Are you kidding me?
Well,
with
if we
4
wanted...
laps left to run.
Oh my gosh. If we wanted some bump draft racing, pack racing, oh my gosh, did we get it.
Yep, bump drafting is going to come into full for Paul Bryan after going for the race lead. Will now get slotted back in a second. Have a look at the worst for wear car that's leading this race at this point in time. Kobe Jordan has a front that's all messed up. Now to the high side. Nathan Gore's going to take that spot away. The highest he's run so far here tonight. We are back to the stripe. 3 laps left to run. And we're getting dangerously close to that NASCAR overtime. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen about now, and there's not enough laps left to run. Glenn McLeod's going to try and slot back into that draft lane. He gets denied, still gets the draft support to the inside. He's battling his way away with Chris Tomlin for P4. And it's going to be, I think, Paul Bryan just ahead of them. And Bryan checks up. Tomlin goes sailing by on the top rope. McLeod's got the nose down there underneath him. He's going to look for a run. Andy Barber's showing his nose in the background as well. 2 laps left to run now. Next time by the strike, we get that white flag. There will be NASCAR. No NASCAR overtime if that's the case. McLeod's going to try and get his way down through and clear Paul Bryan. Will do so. Bryan's going to have the Andy Barber racing up along his inside. We're 1 quarter away from the white flag, and here it comes. Bryan's light's gone sideways. Kobe Jordan is now getting under assault from Nathan Gore. White flag in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, we are one lap from the checker. It is one and one only left to go. Will Kobe Jordan be able to hang on from Nathan Gore? Gore now down to the bottom in turn 1 and 2. Will check up. Won't have enough of a run, and that may be all she wrote as they come around the top step. It's going to be Kobe Jordan who's leading us off of turn number 2. He leads us into turn 3 for the final time. Chris Tomlin coming back, but it's going to be the new liveries that'll get the job done. Kobe Jordan gets there, really get it done. Run to the outside of Jordan, wiggling left, right, and center. It will be Kobe Jordan who crosses the line in victory lane. And it's going to be 2 of those inside lane Sim Sports production cars that'll cross inside your podium. New liveries, get the job done for those boys.
Wow, I'm speechless. If you haven't noticed, I've been speechless most of the broadcast. Oh, gosh. That was fantastic.
And Mr. Greg Leake gets 2 spots back, so he'll finish 16th.
See? That's what I said, he only needed a spot or 2. And he'd be in the top 10. Might have been a little bit off with my mathematics there, but, you know. Oh, and the old
Kobe Jordan.
park it in the wall.
Kobe Jordan's front bumper looks a whole bunch of messed up, and Chris Tomlin, he's celebrating a new splash of paint and a new way of driving. He'll drive himself inside the podium. Nathan Gore will round out the positions. Those boys are going to burn it down in style. And who's that tying into things? The 20 of Aiden Norris. Everyone's celebrating.
Kobe's just like, yep, I want to turn right.
No, they call this a polished victory lap. So once the race is actually over, you can drive backwards around the track and not get penalised for it. And that's what Kobe Jordan's doing. So it unlocks the rules. The instant the last car crosses the start-finish line and everyone's received that checkered flag, you can do whatever you want.
That's why Saturday Night Mayhem was so crazy once the last car went over. I thought his arms were sore from turning left or something, and thought he'd just go do some like cool down laps and turn right just to, you know, stretch it out the other way.
No, so she's going to drive backwards in the pit lane. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. What a race. What a race. Mate, he is lighting that thing up. I don't think that car's going to have an engine here in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, they build them tough, apparently.
It's a Ford, mate.
Well, it was close. It wasn't far off.
Oh, there he goes. And he gets to pull perfectly into pit lane. Look at that. What a way to finish it.
So maybe that's why you do the burnouts down in pit lane. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be moving on to our podium celebrations here with P3 so far tonight. Christopher Tomlin, we'll get him in here.
Because Hayden Norris is just drifting this car. This truck, oh my gosh, that was phenomenal.
That was a bang up. Chris Tomlin, new splash of paint, new set of kicks, effectively. And they work nicely for you. You're going to have to stick with that new paint now.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, yesterday afternoon, we just merged teams with another team with Kobe Jordan. So to get a 1 and a 3rd in new paint colours and stuff, really good job.
Why didn't you do this earlier, apparently?
Well, it was in the works. I got a P4 like a couple of weeks ago in the series. So, you know, just slowly chipping away.
And talk to us about your night from go to woe. You were always there and thereabouts. You sort of hung around in the top 10 and just sort of waited for the opportunity. You hung out. You were looking for everything you could possibly take away. Quite a few very dicey battles. I saw you. I don't think there was many laps there where you actually managed to settle down and go single file through all the corners.
No, it was very dicey a few times. I had a few cars come down on the track, so I had to avoid them pretty quickly, and surprisingly got away with it all nice and cleanly. Had a bit of a touch up with the wall early on, so I had to use my fast repair pretty early. So I was just happy to, you know, get out of there cleanly and, you know, finish off with the podium for the new team.
Mate, I mean, strong night here from Chicagoland. Is this sort of a good track for you, a good omen, or perhaps this is a bogey you've been wanting to cross off the list for a long time?
Well, this is the first time I ever driven the track, so, you know, most of the ovals, I'm sort of new to the ovals. I used to do a lot of dirt oval, so since I've been talking to Kobe and whatnot, been starting to get into the ovals, and yeah, this is the first time that I've actually raced around this track, so felt all right, and we just went from what we had.
So next week we move on to another 1.5 miles. It's going to be Auto Club. So again, I get the feeling you've probably raced at Auto Club before, but the week after that we actually move on to Knoxville. Feeling comfortable perhaps around Knoxville?
Oh, Knoxville, I've raced around all the other oval tracks, no. So
So you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, so hopefully I do all right at Knoxville. Otherwise, you probably put the micker on me, and I'm gonna probably crash out or something now.
Right, well, new team means a new list of sponsors. Have you got written up? Because it's your time to thank them.
Oh, no, I don't have any of them written up, but I'd like to say a big thanks to Pete, which is from LR Esports. He helps me out a lot with stuff and whatnot. And On Track Ag, LR Esports, which is the team that I was originally with, which we merged, Inside Lane Productions, and the other 10, 15 sponsors that are slapped up the side of the car.
Do you want me to read them out for you?
We've got high quality images there.
Yeah, I can see
a few of them.
They're on screen now. People are going to see what the sponsors are, mate. Bloody good
there's a few
deliveries. There. Yeah, there is. As we said in the start of the stream, there's a lot going on.
Well, congratulations either way, Chris. A new team, new track that you haven't run before, and a new way of life. That looks like you had an absolute blast, mate. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chris Tomlin from P3 tonight and the new team colours. Moving on to second place from your NASCAR trucks on a Monday night, Nathan Gore. Mate, Tuesday nights, the boys, they seem to be treating you all right.
Yeah.
Monday nights. Tuesdays
night,
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesdays tomorrow, yeah. No, that was good fun tonight. Obviously screwed up a bit at the start and got myself a black flag, so I made myself work for it, but no, it was good fun.
How did that happen? Talk to us about how the night starts, because it's important to get off and rolling, at least, feel things out first half of the race, and then you sort of get back into it. But what was the penalty for early on, and how do you recover?
So the penalty I got, I think it was the first or second caution, because we had unlimited tyres. I just came in to get new boots, and someone stayed up high on the track, and I just accelerated into the pits, got a black flag, and then that's you got to serve under green flag, so that put me a lap down, and then you just pray for a lucky dog and try and keep out of the carnage as best you can, and the race will eventually come back to you if you're lucky, which I was tonight.
Set things up for us. I believe it was lap 60 or so. You come down, you said, look, we're probably going to get another couple of cautions here at the end of the race. This is my last opportunity to pit. And that was the right call, wasn't it? It was get yourself in at the right time and hang on to it, and you surge forward late on in the race.
Yeah, me and my teammate Chris Ireland, we were sort of speaking in our Discord, and we were umming and ahhing, and then we sort of thought we would only lose 5 or 6 positions, but would have 15, 16 lap pressure tyres. So we thought that if the race went green all the way to the end, that we'd be able to pick everyone off. Unfortunately, Chris got into one of the carnages. But yeah, I just saw it as an opportunity to come in. As I said, we had unlimited tyres tonight, which we don't normally get. So you make the most of that, and try and charge through the field.
Mate, it's good racing there towards the tail end. You got to the outside of Kobe. Did you think you had it coming off of turn 4? Do you think you had enough time to get that run? I mean, there was nothing in it at the line.
Yeah, look, I buggered myself up at the start of the lap. I went too tight into 1 and 2. I was well up the inside of him, but yeah, it was just too tight, and I didn't want to drift up and ruin his race because he drove well the whole night. So buggered myself up there, and then that last shoot to the line, if we were allowed to use the apron, I probably would have driven down there, but we weren't. So just had to hope that he got a little bit sideways off of 4, which he didn't. And look, if it was a couple 100 meters longer, I might have got him. But no, as I said, it was good fun, and good close finish at the end without any paint being swapped, which is good.
Well, congratulations, mate. Your opportunity now to show the thank yous and shout outs to those sponsors that make it possible for you.
Yeah, just want to thank all the guys at Send It SimSport. Joe runs a nice team there. All our sponsors, Precision Performance Shop, ProServe Finance, Sydney Computers, AJ Insurance Services, Transform Media, Pixelbox, and yeah, I think that's everyone. If I've forgotten anyone, I'm sure Joe will tell me. But yeah, just thanks to those guys, and thanks to SRW for putting everything on during the week. There's multiple leagues, so if guys are watching this and want to get on, there's something for everyone. So jump on board, and we'll have you on any night of the week, basically.
Mate, thank you very much. Have an absolute blast of a Monday night. We'll see you again next week, eh?
No worries, guys. Thanks again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Gore, who walk away with P number 2 from tonight. But it's time to talk to the man in charge of a new team. Man on the up, Kobe Jordan rolls in with a fresh paint job. We talked to his teammate earlier who was enjoying the new kicks. Kobe, how's it look, brother?
Yeah, how you going, boys?
You're not too bad, mate. It's actually really, really good. I think, in my mind, I actually want to say a big shout out to you because I think this has been coming for a while. I just think you've just been unlucky a few times in terms of overleagues, but I know that talent's been there. So it's been good to see you show it off finally.
Yeah, it's about time I got some rewards.
Mate, talk to us about the night. It wasn't an easy night. The front end of that truck did not look good most of the way throughout the night.
Honestly, I didn't think I was going to get the win. Yeah, I mean, even in practice, I didn't really have the pace. I knew if I stuck to the high line and we got a long green run, it might come back to me. Didn't really race anyone, just raced the track and just saw what I got at the end, and boom, here we go, first.
Talk to us about with a couple laps there to go and you're sort of getting down the range. We're in green, white checker range. You've gone for the alternate strategy. Everyone else is coming down pit road. Everyone else is grabbing a fresh set of boots. Everyone else is having a crack. You left there and you just go, you know what, stuff it. I'm going to have a crack at this.
Yeah, well, I knew I had a bit of damage to the front end, so if I knew I went in to get pits, I was going to lose places. So I thought, bugger it, it's only a couple to go, just stay out and see what happens. I did defend a little bit, but not too much because I didn't want to get turned. So that helped me. I was talking to second place before, and he told me he got snug in 1 and 2, so that sort of helped me out a bit. But yeah, it was very close at the end. I'll have to go back and watch the replay, but I think he was right next to me, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was right beside the winning margin was 0.05 of a second.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So, I mean, awesome racing here tonight, mate. It's been tricky. It's been a tricky season so far. We saw there wasn't much going on in terms of the early seasons. Things just weren't going your way, but you've stuck at it. You've worked at it, you know, and things have finally come up your way, mate. So congratulations. I'm so glad to see. The benefit of this league is there's a lot of oval guys that I've run with before and in the past, a lot of guys that I've seen developing their skill set, and you've been one of those guys. We've had our blues before in oval racing, but you always sit down and go, this guy's got a set of skills. He's going to win a race one day. I'm so happy that this has happened in front of me, man, where I can say, hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
You deserve it. You honestly do deserve this. So
Yeah. Been good.
your opportunity to thank all the sponsors and everything that make it possible for you. Your teammate doesn't know who they are, so your opportunity to thank them.
Yeah, I was quickly trying because we only did the team merger over the weekend during the 12 hours. So we'll quickly, I didn't know where he was, and I was quickly trying to send him the sponsor list. I'm like, here. But anyway, so our sponsors are Sim Racing Edge Setup Shop, JTH Signs, J-Tune Automotive, HM Mechanical, Staunch Bull Bars, Matt's Car Care, LR Esports, Sunco Fire, New Holland, On Track Ag, Karcher, and Inside Lane Productions.
Congratulations, mate, and I hope that's one of many. You'll chalk that one up. I know for a lot of drivers that first big win goes in the memory banks for them, and it's like I said, it's awesome to be here and celebrate that along with you, mate. So congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that about wraps it up in terms of Monday night's racing, Mr. Shibby. We've got Tuesday nights. Are you jumping back in the car again tomorrow night?
Yeah, look, I wanted to last week. Yeah, it's hard. Family man, wife, kids. We all play sports, so if it works out and my wife's home and she's not playing netball, then sure, if I can get on. The problem is if I can't get practice during the day, I don't want to race at night. So that's my issue. I'm still learning these 360 sprint cars as I can only drive the 305s in my class at the moment. So again, practice, need to get up a class so I can start driving the 360s. But all in all, if I'm not racing, I'll be watching the broadcast because it is an absolute cracker of a series. Brand new to Sim Racing World this season. So stay tuned for tomorrow night's racing.
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, the 360 Sprint Cars will be coming to you live from I-55, a new track to iRacing over the last couple of seasons, and drivers will be trying to settle into that. Then we move on to your Wednesday night action. That starts us off with what has been one of the real highlights this season. It's going to be your TCRs. I've finally managed to catch some free time to jump in those cars, and let me tell you, the racing that you see on screen exactly matches how fun it is to be in the car. They'll be live from Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Wednesday night concludes with your Formula 3. It's the first of the double headers through the week, which will be followed up on Thursday night with the second of the double headers. I believe this week we are heading to Fuji International Speedway, another of the new tracks within iRacing. It has such a long main straight. If you can stay with the car ahead of you throughout the twists and turns, look out for the big moves on the main straight. Thursday night, we return to the SR8 Radicals. It has been a bang-up series so far. Let me tell you, driving from the back of the field is a bunch of fun in those cars. 2 wide action at Brands Hatch, which is a single file track. Generally, they'll be heading to Watkins Glen, the boot, including the bus stop chicane. How will the Mini LMP2s take the curbs? That's the big question. Then we move on to Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for the Porsche Cup on Thursday night. And then finally, rounding us out on Sunday night will be your V8 Supercars combined from Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya as well. That's all coming your way from the Sim Racing World broadcast. Once again, this has been another broadcast on the Sim Racing World Network. It has been a pleasure to bring you the racing action. I am Scotty Radagon Rankin. He is Shibby Howard. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for those Dirt Sprint Cars. Have fun, guys. We'll see you then.
Good night. Stay safe.